Hi, everyone, and welcome back to episode 8 of Her Playbook podcast with Devon and Jaden. We're very excited to be back. We have new chairs.
Look at them. Aren't they so beautiful?
I'm kicked back. I got my feet up. I'm feeling good.
I'm worried you're going to fall asleep.
I know. I told Jaden, I was like, we have to keep it interesting or else I'm going to fall asleep. We've had a crazy season, yes, but we just had a really big weekend. We played in the Pac-12 championships. And then we leave for Gulf Shores for our NCAA championships tomorrow. So you want to run us through a quick little recap of our Pac-12s?
Yes. So we just got back from ASU playing in our conference tournament. It was the last Pac-12 ever, which was kind of crazy. But we did pretty well. We beat Arizona, and then we beat Stanford, who's ranked number 3. That was a great win for us. And then we played number 1 ranked USC in the semifinals, and we won that game. And then we had to play USC again in the finals, and we lost, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a double elimination bracket. So you could have lost one and then come back. So it's a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah, playing double elimination is a lot different than single elimination for many reasons. We'll get more into that later, but overall the tournament was great. I thought, our team made some big strides and we gained some confidence going into our final tournament of the year, we leave tomorrow.
Yeah, it literally starts all. So like you said, we lost. So we're not Pac-12 champions. And that's something that I'd say there's 2 big things you want every season. And it's you want to be a conference champion and you want to be an NCAA champion. Mm-hmm. Which just brings me to the topic of losing, which is something that I've wanted to talk about for a while, just because you get to see everyone in their best. And you hear all the interviews and the podcasts when somebody wins something big or does something significant. But I feel like not a lot of people talk about what it's like to process a loss, and especially if it's a bigger loss to you. And so overall, what's your kind of reaction to when you lose? Are you actually, yeah, you can just get into it.
I mean, as an athlete, we're all competitive. I don't think anyone likes to lose. For me, losing has been something that I've needed to kind of learn more about and just I don't know, use the experience as more of a learning lesson than oh my God, I'm terrible, or dwelling in it. And that's something that's just come with experience. I would say losing a big game hurts, and there's nothing easy about losing, but I've kind of switched my mentality into thinking okay, I'm giving myself 10 minutes to kind of sit here and feel sad or feel the emotions that are normal when you put 110% into something, but also looking at it and being okay, what can I do better?
Yeah.
And going back home, watching film, watching the game, and kind of assessing and kind of seeing what can I do better next time to make this not happen again.
Totally. I think, watching film is so funny because I have a really hard time watching games that I didn't do well in. I'm fine with the games that my team won for me, so that if I lost, I'm still okay. Mm-hmm. But I haven't been able to watch one of these games back from 3 years ago because I just know it causes a lot of pain. But I used to be the biggest sore loser. I would take losses really hard and I would get mad, and I think that I was such an up and down player. So when I was really doing well and I was on a high, I was loud, probably louder than I should have been. I was energetic, but I was feisty. Mm-hmm. And then when I wasn't doing well and I was losing, it was I was at an ultimate low. You could see it in my body language. You could just read it all over me.
Yeah.
And then once I got injured, I feel I took a year off and I just watched the sport, and I got to see all of you guys go compete, and I got to watch a summer of AVPs.
Yeah.
And it was so fun to be an outsider, and I missed it so much, the feeling of being competitive again, that ever since I've come back from that injury, I haven't had that same feeling of loss. When I lose something, we just lost, not this past weekend, but the weekend before that we lost. And it doesn't hurt me as bad. I'm just kind of I came off of, we lost to USC at their senior night, me and Perry did personally. And it was such a fun game to play. Like, it was so high level. I was like, it was back and forth. It was like testing me and pushing me to be better within the game.
Yeah.
That I was just kind of like, after the game, I looked at Perry and I was like, I just had a really good time. Like, do I wish I won 100%? And like, was I still like, ugh, after we lost? Sure. But it took me probably like 2 minutes before I was like, oh my God, that was so much fun. And that's kind of how I've been reflecting on losses. But I also think that there's a difference with that, because for me, I've always made it like not my rule of thumb, but like I don't want to rely on my wins or losses for me financially. So I know that that adds a huge pressure to it for the people who are on the professional tour, and it's like volleyball, beach volleyball is all they do, and it's like it's not the highest income sport. So like your wins and losses really do make a difference for sometimes if like rent is going to be fully like available that month or not.
Yeah.
It also, there's a certain like beach volleyball hasn't hit that like target audience yet where it's like you're getting tons of hate on social media if you lose. I mean, we got that in the national championship last year, maybe in like comment section on Instagram, but nothing to the point where like women's basketball is going to get. So I think that those make it way easier for people in beach volleyball to like thrive off of a loss and move on. But that's just how I handle losing right now.
Yeah. I mean, like you were saying, back to like gratitude, I think that's so huge, especially like with something you went through of having such a big shoulder injury and then coming back from it and just being like happy to step on the court. I think just having gratitude within like anything you're doing and like your sport, just remembering why you're doing it will make the pain of losing go away.
Totally. Because if you're not like, it's like people always like say, like, if you don't love your job, then it's going to be a job. But if you love your career, it's like going to be your passion. And I think for me that like, if I genuinely did not love my sport and I was losing, then I'd be like pissed, because it's like, I'm playing the sport because I love the feeling of winning. But for me, I'm like playing the sport because I do just love the sport, and I love to be like connected with my partner. I love to be a part of a team. I love to be getting this like competitive, fiery side out of me. And so, yeah, I think gratitude is definitely everything if you can walk away from the game like that. But beach volleyball is also really different in college because it's best out of 5. So if you might put up a win for your team, but let's say 3 other teams didn't, then you lose. Yeah. So we had a match like that. Was it last year? 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago and last year, actually.
Almost every year.
Actually, I can say then last year. Last year, we went down 0-2, and which means that like our first 2 teams lost that match. And then we stepped on the court, and then we had gotten a win for our team, but we ended up losing the duel 3-2, which was for the national championship. And we've had similar situations in the past. Yeah. Does it feel like, do you feel any better coming off of the match knowing that you put up a win? Does it hurt more because like other people couldn't do it for you? Or like, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, like you were saying, I feel like beach volleyball is a really just different sport in that kind of way. I mean, it's a bittersweet feeling because yes, you can win, but like you were saying, your team can lose, and that can hurt just as much. What I've learned from it is when I step onto the court, I want to put like 110% of myself into it. And if I win, if I lose, I can walk away feeling good about it. And I think if all 5 of our pairs do that, then there should be no regrets. And I don't know. I think like looking to like those big games where it does come down to like one person, like win or loss is like such a big thing. Like it's not on them to win the duel for them. You know what I'm saying?
That when you put like your trust into your teammates, like I know that, and like I fully believe that like all of my pairs can win. Like every pair we have, I like fully believe they can win. So if they happen to lose, I'm really not upset about it. I think for me, the only thing that I would be upset about is if like what you were saying, like there wasn't 110% effort in. Yeah. I think that's the only times where I've ever come off of a duel being like, man, like I just gave my 110%. Why couldn't you? But I think we're so lucky to be surrounded by girls who like share the same common goal. So it's like you do see a lot of the time, you like look at any of our pairs, and a lot of the times they're giving their every ounce of their energy is putting out into that court, and you can like literally see their heart being like just left there. So it's like I would never walk away and be like, oh, I'm so pissed at you for losing. For me, it's like I'm so proud of you for giving it your all. I don't really care about the win or loss.
Yeah, and I think that's so cool, and it's a testament to our culture too.
Yeah.
I mean, UCLA beach volleyball is something that obviously we care so much about, and the girls on our team are like our best friends and are so special. And we work so hard during the off season and the preseason to get to where we are. And all the girls that are playing and the girls that are not playing, we all trust each other and love each other with our whole hearts. And I think it's just cool to have the freedom to just step on the court and just do your thing. And you know that you have 19 other girls and the coaching staff backing you.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Well,
all right,
let's go on to Gulf Shores. You want to open it up?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So like I said, we have our national championships coming up we leave tomorrow, but our first match will be on Friday. We just got the bracket, actually. We will play Texas A&M, right?
Yep, Corpus Christi.
Corpus Christi. We will play them first. How are you feeling about going into Gulf Shores?
I mean, I'm really excited. It's just like, this is the last time national championships will be in Gulf Shores, Alabama, which is so weird to say. I feel like looking back on our beach volleyball career, Gulf Shores is such a big part of it. And it's just amazing. The atmosphere is like nothing else. And I'm just excited to get back there and just soak it all in.
Yeah, me too. I think that Gulf Shores is so special. And I also think that like I have put Gulf Shores in like so far removed from my mind because I was so scarred from last year, and like we lost in Gulf Shores last year. And so I didn't really want the national championship like anywhere near me until a couple weeks ago. And I was like, it's becoming real. Like it's time to think about it. It's time to say it out loud. It's time to like understand what's going to happen there. And so now I'm just really excited. I'm excited to jump higher. The sand is really compact, so you're going to jump a lot higher. I'm excited to like have my body into like that white sand and just like dive into it. I'm really excited for that part.
I know our first thing that we do when we get off the plane is we all drive over to the beach and we'll like circle up and like just sit down and talk to each other and just take it all in. And the fact that we're going to be there for the last time and it's going to be like our freshman's first time.
I know.
It's such
so
a cool,
weird.
yeah, it's such
Full
a
circle.
weird experience. So
what is your favorite part about Gulf Shores?
My favorite part about Gulf Shores, I mean, the whole setup that NCAA does for the tournament is just amazing.
Yeah.
And it makes it feel so special and so like surreal to be playing in that environment.
Yeah.
I mean, the volleyball obviously is a huge part of it, but the memories that we have from like non-volleyball in Gulf Shores is what I love most about it.
Yeah.
And my favorite memories come from just like the hotel rooms and like the fact that we get to stay in the beautiful hotel, like ocean front, look out, on our little patio and like see like just the most amazing view. I don't know, like the whole thing's just like so fun.
Really cool.
So yeah, I guess like my favorite memories is just like with the team, non-volleyball related.
Yeah. I think for me, it's like, I don't know, the pre-match things and the post-match things. Like when we've won a match, it's like everyone running together to like hug. Doesn't really matter if it was the first match or it was the last one. Like,
yeah.
You don't like every single person on your team, you're like grabbing them and hugging them. And like, I remember when we beat FSU last year in this last season, that means we were headed to the finals. I just started crying and I was just like so overwhelmed by how much like love I have for the people on my team and like especially the seniors at the time. I was like, yes, like we made it for them and like this is why I'm doing it. And so enjoying all those little moments, like whether there be victories or not, like I'm so excited to just like give everyone my love, especially for like the last time.
I think another big part of Gulf Shores that makes it so crazy is it kind of feels like the Hunger Games, don't you think? Like it's single elimination. The tournament is one and done. Like you have to win 4 matches to win the national championship. And it's so compact, unlike other sports where their national championship tournaments are spread out.
Yeah.
And like Devon was saying, like the games happen and you put your heart and soul onto the court because that could be your last game. And then you'll hear a horn blow and you'll look to the massive scoreboard and hopefully your team has won. And then you'll sprint to the court that had ended it. And it's like, it literally, you feel the adrenaline rushing through your body.
Yeah.
And you feel so connected with your team. And yeah, I agree. That's like one of the most amazing parts.
Yeah, it's so interesting with the like single elimination tournament because pretty much every other NCAA sport has this single elimination tournament. But for us, it's all jam-packed into like maybe 3 or 4 days. And not a lot of other sports are like that, where it's like back to back to back, you're playing and you're competing. And so I always was so curious about like if NCAA ever changed it to make it like you do one home match, then you do, and then like the semis and the finals are in Gulf Shores and whatever, maybe be a completely different tournament. But it makes it so like your turnarounds are so quick that like you enjoy that moment of when you win, but like maybe within the hour you're seeing on your itinerary, like it is time to go watch that next match because that one now doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
So it's like for other teams, it's like they beat this huge team and like they get to celebrate that for probably like a week and then they'll play next Friday and then they can focus on it. But for us, it's like you get 30 minutes to like really soak it in and enjoy that moment and say hi to your family and that's it. It's like on to the next, which is you only do that for 4 games.
Yeah.
So it's really quick. It goes by fast. I remember like looking back and we had a lightning delay last year and it was our first game or second game. Cal?
Second game.
I think it was second game. And by then it's like you'd already just played 2 matches, but I feel like I literally had not stepped on the court yet because like, especially for the girls who are coming in and this is gonna be their first tournament, like those nerves and those butterflies make that first match kind of feel like, let's just get it out of the way. Like, let's just finish this one really quick so that I can really like enjoy this next game kind of thing.
You kind of just mentioned it, but what do you recommend for the girls who are playing in this tournament for the first time? I mean, it's probably the biggest stage they've played in so far.
Yeah, I think for any girl, like any person entering like their first national championship, like let yourself know like it's gonna be different, like it's gonna be a completely different like arena, like you said, like Hunger Games, like you're gonna feel intense. There's gonna be like 50 different factors that are adding into the pressure that you already put on yourself for it. So like talking to people about it is huge. I like would always sit down with people older than me and just like hear about Gulf Shores and I would hear about the national championship. And I think that just staying incredibly present and also just enjoying it because like you're only going to get 4 of those or 5 of those. And like, that's it. And that is what you train all year to do. So like, if you can shift your mindset to being just like, I'm here and I'm happy to do this. And I'm happy that we got the opportunity rather than like, we're the number 2 seed. We're supposed to win this first round. Like taking the pressure away from that. That's because we were talking about this earlier, like everything's a clean slate. So like, we're going to be playing a 15th seed, right? And the 15th seed, it doesn't matter what they've done up until this point because we're both coming in and just if they beat us, it doesn't matter if they're a 15th seed or not. So it's like you have to like reset your mind every match and just take away all the expectations.
So true.
Do you want to do the segment now?
You want to? Oh yeah, I guess we can just skip to that. Okay, we are going to be doing the things we wish we knew about playing on a big stage. So, Devon, you want to start?
Yeah, we're going to do kind of like tips and tricks of like things like genuinely we wish we knew before. One of my favorite tricks of all time that I was taught in high school is that you should pick a song that you don't listen to a lot and put that like constantly throughout your entire tournament because then now every time you listen to that song, you're going to be like taken back to that moment.
That's cute.
And I've loved that. So I do that for any big trip or any big tournament. Like I always have a song that like I really identify that tournament with, and it doesn't really matter what song. And then, yeah, like I said earlier, just like staying present with everything.
Oh, I love that. I feel like I've done that like unintentionally.
Oh, totally.
Like,
yeah.
A song
You're just randomly obsessed with it.
Okay, 2021 culture.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Mine is, I kind of already mentioned it, but just like enjoying the moments outside of volleyball at the national championship tournament. Like one of my favorite things is the banquet. All the teams gets together the night before competition starts, and we go to this place called the Hangout right on the beach. It's gorgeous. And they put on like just such a fun event for everyone to kind of come together and just volleyball aside, like we're all girls fighting for the same thing. And it's kind of cool to just think about it in that way.
Yeah, totally. I think one that we've been talking about a lot recently, but something that we've done pretty much every year is just like identifying your fears. So like when it back in the day when it was a double elimination tournament, there was a like we had lost a match to LMU, and it was my sophomore year. So it was my first national championship I was playing in. And I remember being like so terrified during that match, but I felt like I couldn't tell anyone that because it was like only me feeling it. And I didn't want to like worry anyone. But then that night we like sat down and like every pair kind of went over and every person was like describing what they were feeling when they were on that court and losing and like what it felt like to be in that moment. And it felt so freeing to just put it out there that like, I'm really scared to lose this and I don't feel good. And I think that it's so powerful, like getting words out there and like labeling the fears, just because if it's stuck in the back of your mind and you're the only one thinking it, then you're not going to be able to change the narrative in your head. Rather than if somebody were to come to me and tell me their fear, I would be like, are you kidding? Like, I know how, like, I believe in you so fully so that I have the power to change their narrative.
Beautiful. So well said.
Thank you.
My next one is something I've kind of been working on, but it's just like zooming out from like the situation. And like we're talking about being in these like big games, like life or death, that feels so heavy. But when you zoom out, it's like, it's volleyball or it's your sport, and you're playing it because you love it, hopefully. And that should just make it feel more simple. When I think about Gulf Shores, it can feel like a lot of emotion, and there's been so many high highs and so many low lows. But when I like remove myself from like that kind of feeling, I'm more just like excited to be there.
Of course.
I'm ready to go into Gulf Shores this year, knowing it's our final season, and just leave everything out there.
Me too.
Empty the tank. That's all you can do.
That's literally all you can do. I think that that's something that I was just talking to the team about today, is that like trust like your training in the terms of like, I fully know that like I've given every ounce of myself this season, and like I've left it all in the courts. I've worked on everything I needed to work on this season, and like I strive to get better every day. So it's like I can't really be upset no matter what happens in Gulf Shores, like at the end of the day, just because I gave it my all. So like if I were to look back and have regrets about like, oh, I wish I went harder in this training, we talk about that all the time. Like never wish that you could change things from the previous year. Just like do them every day so that when you do get to Gulf Shores, you know that like you can full-heartedly say like, I trust my training, I trust myself, and I trust my team.
So true.
I also think it's important to have things to look forward to, which is a fun little segue. I'm sure everyone knows this by now, but Jaden and I are playing together for the rest of the summer on the AVP tour, and just a lot of fun events coming our way, which we will show more about, post more about later. It was an easy decision, I think, for us, just because we had just done an AVP season last year and it went so well. And I also think that it's so rare, especially in this sport, to like be committed to a partner and say like, I'm going to be doing this the whole summer and that's it. But I feel like so confident in us because like there's not really other people that I would want to do that with. And I feel so confident in what we can do as well. And also like the amount of time we're spending together, like you really want to love your partner.
It really does make a difference.
It's a relationship.
It's a relationship. It makes a huge difference when you're really good friends with your partner and you're traveling with your partner, you're staying in the same hotel as your partner, and our families love each other. That's a plus too.
That's
we're
also
literally
a plus.
Staying in an Airbnb with like all of our family.
So we're really excited about the upcoming season, and I think that we're going to give ourselves like a couple days of break, and then it's like right back to it, which I love because like it's just going to be a different kind of training we're going to be doing. But it'll be really fun.
So AVP Huntington is our first one back.
So come watch, come really text, come hang out. Anyways, thank you so much for watching another episode of Her Playbook podcast with Devon Newberry and Jaden Whitmarsh. Keep us in your thoughts and prayers for this next week. It's a really big one for us. And we hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.